You might want to sit on a block to begin the practice with. And or anything really that's comfortable. And then shuffle a little bit around, get some movement to the body so that although we're still quite cold, we can sit upright with enough ease. Maybe letting the shoulders relax. And for this whole week, I've chosen a mantra again, but I won't be able to play the mantra because I couldn't find a recorded version of it. So that's a first. We will have to make the mantra ourselves. And I think it's reasonably easy to actually do so. But before we chant the mantra, let us come into a mudra. So we'll place our right hand, palm facing the body in front of the chest without touching. We're bringing the left hand over the top, so just crossing at the wrists. And then we're hooking our thumbs up and spreading the fingers out. So we're coming into Garuda Mudra or the Eagle Mudra. It looks a little bit like the wings of the eagle. We've got that little pull here happening on the thumbs, and the fingers are nicely spread out. And once you've got that, you might choose to close your eyes or just steady your gaze. And I know it's a lot to take in when we begin the practice, and it's quite a strong mudra as well. Starting by feeling just simply into the hands and just noticing what's happening in your hands. Maybe you're feeling a movement of energy through the hands. Maybe you're just noticing that there's a pull on the thumb, that there are fingers spread out. Whatever it is that you can notice, fine. Maybe noticing how the rest of your body is going. And then acknowledging the flow of breath. So another good morning for those that just arrived. Very welcome to the practice. We're in Garuda Mudra, so the right palm is facing us. We're taking the left hand over the top, hooking the thumbs up, and we've got our fingers spread out. And we're basically just sitting here and exploring ourselves. Deepening the breath and noticing where the breath is flowing when we're holding the hands like this. So there won't be any pattern of breathing, just the breath as such. We're pulling on the thumbs here, so we are working with fire, or playing with fire. And so will the mantra be an invocation of fire. The mantra is Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. We will chant this mantra together 3 times before we move on. Let's start with a full in and out breath. Then inhaling for the mantra. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. while you allow the mantra to resonate with you. Begin to inquire what you would like to transform with the fire that we are creating, or what you want to burn off to make space for something new. Once you've found that, you might choose to repeat that silently 3 times to yourself, using it as an intention for the practice. When you complete it, we will release the mudra with a big breath in, reaching the arms out and up. And then we're hooking the thumbs back up over the head and spreading out the fingers here. And with an out breath, just bending lightly to the right. Inhale, come to center and bend to your left. Inhaling center and exhaling back to the right. Keep flowing like this. And add 1 more round, once more to each side, just a side bend. As you center yourself again, release the hooked up thumbs and just turn your body to the right. 1 hand fingertips behind the other hand against the leg. Let your shoulders soften. On the next breath in, let's reach the front hand up and then back behind as you're breathing out. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's lift from the solar plexus to the sternum, but it may be only opening up through the throat. Take a deep breath. And to release from here, just rounding your lower back and letting the head come up naturally. We will change the cross of the legs. Taking a breath in, lifting the arms out and up again. When we're hooking up the thumbs this time, just changing the one you had in front. Spread out your fingers nevertheless. And as you're exhaling now, lean to the right and hold here for a moment. Keep your shoulders nicely in line. Head can look forward. We don't have to get really deep. Maybe it's more of a lift through the side of the body. Inhaling, center yourself, and then hold that over to the left as well. Trying to get length into the right side of the body. Next in-breath, come back to center. Open the arms again and we're twisting to the other side. So 1 hand lands behind gently on its fingertips and we're turning the body, leaving the shoulders relaxed. Let's take the front hand up with a big in-breath and circle it back down on the out-breath. Now let us remove anything we've been sitting on, and those of you who might have arrived a little bit later into the practice, we're using a block or meditation cushion today to sit on, but maybe for other things too, who knows. So just taking off a few layers because I know I will get a little bit warmer in a moment. As I would love you to just step your feet down onto the ground and finding the space between the sit bones in which to sit. Leaving your feet step down onto the ground in front of you and your fingertips lightly behind you for a boat shape. So when you're leaning into the boat, we're starting to engage our tummy muscles. And what I'd ask you to do is spread your wings out as you inhale. And then bring the right hand to face the body again, left hand slotting over the front. We're hooking the thumbs up and we're placing Garuda Mudra right in front of our chest, keeping shoulders relaxed. And I'm reasonably sure that if you're leaning to the space between the sit bones, you can feel the strength creeping up. But maybe that's not enough and you would like to balance in your boat. In that case, lifting the feet off the floor. Keep pulling a little bit on the thumbs. Keep spreading out your fingers. Beautiful. Let's stretch the mudra up. Extend the legs if you like. And then swing all that over and come onto all fours. So we're resting on all fours just for a brief moment, as I will invite you to bring your forearms down onto the ground from here. Turning the palms to face towards the ceiling. We're taking left hand under, right hand over. So there will be a lot of this mudra today. We've got crossed wrists. We hook the thumbs up and the fingers are spreading out again. While we're holding the mudra, you might choose to just step your knees a little bit back, to lower the hips and bring them in line with the rest of the body, to be strong in the upper back and create space between your shoulder blades, to activate your core as you're drawing down towards the heels with the tailbone. And just in case this isn't enough, you can tuck your toes under and lift the knees off the floor and hold a forearm plank. There's no pressure in doing either. You could have stayed on all fours. As always, lots of options. Just have a little smile down to your hands and the mudra that encourages the energy in around the solar plexus. Taking one more breath here. And then keep the strength on, but lower your pelvis down onto the ground, holding through the mudra as we're lifting into a swings. We're grounding down through the tops of the feet. The knees might lift off the ground. And we're getting a sense that even the area of the upper belly gets a lift and becomes light against the ground. Take a deep breath here. And two more. Just deeply breathing, bringing space into the front. Then take another in-breath to release your mudra and let your elbows slide out and resting the forehead down onto stacked hands. If you like, you can move a little bit and wiggle through the back from the pelvis and a ripple effect up the spine, down the legs. And from here, let's lift the head lightly, slide the hands back by the sides of the rib cage. Push yourself up onto your knees and we're returning onto all fours. I invite you for a slinky cat, so creating movements that feel good for you from here. We've been holding, we've already been strengthening. The body might feel a need to just ease in, find a little bit of movement there. You can round, you can lean to the side, whatever it is your body wants you to do. And then we'll return onto all fours. Finding a more solid stance with a slightly neutral spine. We're lifting the right leg up on the in-breath, extending. On the out-breath, bring knee and nose closer underneath. As you're inhaling, you might even lift your gaze and extend the leg. And on the out-breath, rounding the back. Repeat that movement 3 more times. And when you bring the knee in the 3rd time, We're aiming to place the foot forward between our hands. Now you've got your fingertips resting down the ground, and bring a little bit of length into your spine. And I would love you to just check in. Is this good for you? Does it feel right? If it does, please stay here. If you want to go deeper, tuck your back toes under, lift the knee off the floor. Bend the back knee then. And what we'll all do together is lift up through the upper body. So we're rising up into standing, finding ourselves a kneeling or a standing lunge. We will take a breath in to reach the arms out and up. But this time we will swing the arms behind our back and we'll hook the thumbs up here and spreading the fingers. We're taking a breath in to open again through the front body, maybe looking a little bit upward. And then on the out breath, leaning halfway forward, or rather a third maybe, to keep the arms away from the back, to lengthen through the spine, to encourage, if you're standing tall, the heel backwards. And your gaze is down, fingers are spread. And you might choose at this stage then to close your eyes. Having a little play with the balance. Even on the knees, you would feel that. Front foot working. Let's, if you're standing, bend the back knee. We will all release the upper body, taking a deep breath in, reaching the arms up. And you could lower your heel down and find a warrior one. Taking a breath in, back heel pushes off the ground. On your out breath, place your hands down. And then either step back into a downward facing dog or onto all fours, depending on where you're working from. We will take a breath in and roll this forward into a plank or kneeling plank. We might untuck our toes. And as we're breathing out, just bending the elbows and slowly lowering down onto the mat. I will ask you to slide your forearms back towards the front. This time we won't hook up the fingers. We'll just rest on the forearms, the elbows underneath the shoulders. And we're grounding down to the tops of the feet, lifting the knees just ever so slightly off the ground. Notice that there's a good chance you're hanging a bit in your back. See if you want to draw your pubic bone up away from the ground. Keeping a lift around the back of the shoulders. And if you want to do even more, you can lift the whole pelvis off the ground, only just. So we're working with the stronger internal core muscles. Then releasing the pelvis back down, opening the elbows and just sinking down onto the ground. Resting the forehead back down onto hands or forearms. Arms out wide, shoulders relaxed. And again, if that felt good, you can have a ripple effect through the body, moving the pelvis and jiggling your body back into place. Deep breath in now. Full breath out. And a couple more just to expand the body down into the ground, out and into the back. And then sliding your hands slightly back besides the ribs, pushing yourself back onto your knees. And now we will return to our mudra. So placing forearms down once more. Right hand is the upper, left hand the lower. We're hooking the thumbs up, spreading the fingers. Now you can stay on your knees again if you prefer, leaning the hips slightly forward, drawing tailbone backwards. And if you want more, you will lift your knees off the floor. Keep drawing your tail towards the heels, no matter your choice. Be strong around the shoulders and the back, upper back. Hold here, subtle smile on your lips. Can you hold for a tad bit longer? Then place your knees back down, release your mudra, and slide all the way back into a child's pose. Your choice to leave hands forward, maybe even as support, or to come into a full child's pose here. We're extending the arms again to the front of the mat. On the inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. If you like, extend up for a downward facing dog. Still or fours is always welcome, and love you to hold there, finding your place within the shape that you have chosen. Maybe everyone aiming for a more neutral spine, the curve around the lower back, the curve in the back of the neck. Let's take, wherever you are, a deep breath in through the nose. And then let's stick the tongue out for a lion breath. Breath in through the nose. And big out breath out of the lion. Have one more of those. Big lion breath in through the nose. And then let's bring our feet to the front end of the mat. Let your hands slide up your legs, lengthen forward, half lift, inhale. Exhale, folding that again. Let's do 2 more here. Inhaling, lengthen the spine forward. Exhaling, soften to bend. Last one, breathe in, stretch out for a half lift. And soften down on the out breath. And now take time, wait for the exhalation, engage your core and start rolling up into standing. Lift your shoulders, inhale, and roll them back and down on the exhale. As we stand here at the front of the mat, ground down through the feet, be active in your stance, long through the spine. Open the hands toward the front as we find a complete expression of mountain shape. On the in-breath, let's lift our arms out and up. Taking a hook here of the thumbs again, spreading out through your fingers. And as you're breathing out, bend it to the right. Inhaling, come to center. Exhaling, bending to the left. Do that once more, bending to each side. And then bending again to the right-hand side and just pausing there. Bring both knees into a deep bend. Roll the body out and then down. Release the hooked up thumbs and take a breath in for a half lift. No, you can't see me, I'm here. All right, so we were in a mountain pose, arms reaching up, thumbs hooked up, and we were bending over to the right to pause. From that place, bend your knees, roll it out and then down, and take a breath in for a half lift. Then step your feet back into a downward facing dog, and take a breath in to drop your knees to the ground while you're lifting tail and gaze. On the out breath now, round it into a cat. On the in breath, lifting tail and gaze. Out breath, back into the cat. And just one more, breathing in and out to round. Finding your neutral spine from here and extending your left leg up and back on the in breath. On your out breath, bring nose and knee together underneath. Inhaling, lift the gaze, extend the leg. Exhale and curl it in. 3 more from here. And with the last one, we will take our foot forward between the hands, and you can help it there, do anything that's required. Come up onto your fingertips there and just lengthen your spine. A little check-in before you might increase the strength of this shape. You can stay here, or you can tuck the back toes under, lifting the knee. If you did the later, we'll bend the knee and we'll all roll back up into an upright position, whether we're on the knee or we're standing on our feet. On a breath in, let's lift the arms up. And then hooking the thumbs back up behind your back. You do that a certain way, bring the other thumb in front. Lifting through the arms, spreading out through the fingers, starting to open from solar plexus to heart, maybe to throat. Inhale here. And then start leaning a little forward, maybe a third of the way down, encouraging the heel back if the knees off the floor, and keep the fingers wide open. If you like a challenge, you might want to close your eyes for a bit. Just noticing what's happening in the body. And then let's release that. Taking a deep breath. Open the arms back up, and you might want to land the back heel down for a warrior one. Arms don't have to touch, they could be apart instead. Solid stance now into the ground. Inhaling, lifting the heel. Exhaling, bringing your hands back down and retreating again for a downward facing dog. We will roll this forward to place the knees down onto the mat again. Once more, let your forearms come down onto the ground. Finding a forearm plank so the knees are a little bit further back. There's again space in the upper back. For those of you going stronger, toes are tucked and we're standing on our feet. As we roll over to the left and take a breath in to lift the right. You might just have one knee down or both legs extended. Bringing the forearm back down, maybe the knees too. And then rolling over to the right, lifting the left arm, maybe both legs extended. Bringing the forearms back down, the knees back down, and let's slide all the way back into child's pose. If you like, you can have your mudra resting in front of your child's pose, or if you prefer, your arms can go alongside the body and you can curl into a full child's pose. Allowing just a few breaths to rest in. Noticing if you're feeling a bit warmer, what's arising in the body, is there any resistance in the mind? If you can, extend the arms back out to the front of the mat. Take a breath in, come up onto your hands and knees. You can, of course, stay here or lift up for a downward facing dog. And I'm asking you to make your way forward to the front end of the mat again. Half lift here, lengthen your spine forward. Exhaling and bend down. 2 more, inhaling, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhaling to fold. Once again, breath in for length. Breath out to fold. Take time, wait for the exhalation and start rolling up with the out breath. Lift the shoulders again, roll them back and down. Let's have a play with the eagle itself, which is the balance, and then step from there backwards to explore again with the mudra. To begin our balance, let's feel the ground underneath the feet. Standing in mountain pose, nicely tall, crown towards the light. We'll start our eagle with the flight. So we're lifting the wings and the right knee comes up. We're bending into the left knee and crossing the legs over. You can tap your big toe here to the ground, or you can hug the foot in by the side. Then take your right arm underneath the left, extra option today. One is to embrace the shoulders. Second is the hooked up thumbs. And the third is the full expression of the shape, palms touching. Leave the shoulders relaxed, but move the elbows just slightly forward away from your chest. And then I encourage you to really squeeze the legs and the arms against each other and hold it like that. Find steadiness in the gaze. Both knees at a bend, arms, legs squeezing together. Then let's unwind the arms, lift the knee back to wings. And we're stepping the foot back, but we're coming into Eagle Mudra for Warrior One stance. So we've got the front knee in a bend, and the back foot is grounded with the leg straight. Would love you to just use the strength of your legs as we're stepping forward, inhaling, extending the arms, and the same foot then steps back again, hands back to the chest. So we're just using the feet, pushing us off the ground, inhaling, extending, exhaling, stepping back again. See if you can find stability within this movement. Inhaling forward, arms lifted. Exhaling, stepping it back. Just one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your arms open wide as you inhale this time. And hook the thumbs back up behind you. Spread out through the fingers here as you lengthen and opening through the chest. We're using the build-up strength just to step onto the foot in front of us. And we might extend this into a Warrior Three from here. Then step your feet next to each other. Take a deep breath, just reaching the arms up. Have a lion out and a swing forward. And let the arms swing out and find your mountain pose again. Let's take a moment to let the energy settle, to explore what it feels like in the two sides of the body. Maybe your breath needs a little bit of lengthening again, finding its balance. Time to change sides. On a breath in, lift your wings, your left knee. Bend the standing leg and cross the other one over. Take your left arm underneath your right. You can embrace your shoulders. You can hook up your thumbs, or you can try and touch palms together. Leave your shoulders relaxed and the elbows just a little bit forward. Both knees in a bend. And we're starting to squeeze our legs and the arms together just to hold the balance of the eagle. Garudasana. We'll take our flight again as we inhale, lifting. Step that back for warrior one and find your eagle mudra again and place that in front of the chest. In case anyone gets lost with the eagle mudra, right hand is facing us, left hand crosses over, we hook the thumbs up, spreading the fingers. So front knee here is in a bend, back foot is grounded, leg is extended. Let's find our step again. As we shift the weight forward, step to the front, inhaling, extending the arms. And then exhaling and stepping back. We'll try and do that as calmly as we possibly can. Breath in, extending. Breath out, stepping back. Now 3 more, finding your pace. Shift the weight forward, extend the body, inhale. Pull it back down and step it back, exhale. After the last one, will we pause in the warrior shape? We will take a breath in to reach the arms out. And we'll bring the hands behind where we're hooking the thumbs up again. Let the arms come down, maybe a little bit away from the back, fingers are spread out. We're using our found strength in the front leg just to tip forward at first. And maybe then the back leg is lifting for warrior 3. Let's step our feet parallel, take a big breath in, lift the arms, lie and breath out for a forward bend. Let's breathe in, lengthen the spine once again. And then slowly coming down to sit. I'm hoping you're feeling nicely warm through already. I'd ask you to extend the legs out to the front. Now this can be challenging as we want to fold forward from here. Sometimes we need to elevate our hips, so you could roll up the mat or sit on a block. You could also, if you've got a bolster, slide a bolster underneath the knees, or instead of sitting on it, you could place your block there halfway or halfway up. In any case, I would ask you to start with your knees bent, placing your hands down by the sides. Let's lift through the sit bones, wiggle them into a grounded position. Keep the toes facing up, take a breath in. And when you're breathing out, just let the hands walk forward to the point where you think, oh, now I'm starting to bend my back. Hold exactly at that point where the back is still straight. You might choose to close your eyes, take a deep breath here. And then go further. It doesn't matter how far you come. I encourage you to keep the knees bent unless you're lying flat over your legs. And in that case, starting to straighten the legs out. If you keep your toes facing up, you're getting the stretch in the right area, whether the knees are bent or straight, doesn't matter. So allow yourself then to breathe out more deeply. From all the heat we've created before into a little bit of a cooling practice as we allow ourselves to melt forward. Inviting a bit of calm and stillness. Two more breaths. Once you complete it, lifting your body to the point where you paused, that point where the spine is long again. Taking your right hand, reaching for the outside edge of the foot or the outside of your leg. And taking a breath in to move the left arm back and open your body to the left. Only thing I'd like you to look for is that your feet stay in line with each other. From this twist, take the fingertips behind onto the floor behind your back. And take a breath in to reach your arm up. And then back down as we're leaning again that little bit forward where our spine is still long. Let's take the left hand outside of the foot, outside of the leg. And with the breath in, let's open the right arm backwards. Keeping your body opening to the side while your feet remain parallel, so we're really moving from our spine rather than the hips. Placing the fingertips pointing behind you onto the floor. And take another circle, this time with the left arm. And we're landing the hands down behind us. So I will place fists down behind my back, but you might actually place your hands down, pointing the fingers forward. I suggest to step the feet onto the ground, have them hip distance, and then squeeze the buttocks up to extend through the front body. You can keep your chin tucked in and look forward, or you can guide the head carefully backwards. Let's pause here. One breath while we're pushing the hips right up, and then most gracefully and with control, lowering the hips down to the mat. Keeping your block nearby, we will need that again. We return to a seated position, but as you might get cold when you're lying down in the moment, you could put your socks, maybe even your jumpers back on. I will then invite you to roll down onto the ground, stepping your feet onto the mat and opening your arms. We will take the right leg and cross that over the left. We will let our right arm slot underneath the left again for shoulder embrace, hooked up thumbs or the full eagle. And then lifting the feet off the floor. And now with the elbows, squeezing knees, elbows together. And when you're inhaling, open that. You can lie your head back. Exhaling, squeeze it together. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Two more. When completed, lower upper body, lower left foot. Open your arms for the in-breath. On the out-breath, let your knees roll over to your left. And you could change the gaze point if you like. And then just pausing there for a moment. If you don't like your legs to remain crossed, it's perfectly okay to separate them. I'd ask you to embrace your core, to lift your knees back to center, stepping your feet back down onto the ground. Lifting the left leg and crossing it over the right. Left arm under the right. And the same options here, hug, hook, or palms touching. Lifting the foot off the ground, inhale. On the exhale, squeeze elbows, knees together. On the inhale, open. Exhale, bring together. And again, 3 more. After the last one, release the right foot down. Open your arms out. And on the out breath, let your knees roll to the right. Maybe turning your gaze here. And pausing in a twist. Whether your legs are still round up or they're separate, just making sure you're doing the other side. And a deep breath here. Embracing your core as you bring your knees back to center. Releasing the legs. And if that's possible, extending the legs out. Having a big stretch. I'll ask you almost to stay here, but if your legs out long doesn't suit your back, you can always pop a bolster under the knees or just step the feet onto the ground. But allowing yourself a few minutes of just resting in Shavasana. Eyes might be closed, or your gaze could be steady against the ceiling. Finding your moment of stillness. Connecting down to the solar plexus, your fire center, center of light. As you're resting here, the body completely relaxing. The tension soften away. Inviting balance and harmony. Or you bring your awareness to your left nostril only and just experiencing the breath flowing through your left nostril. Maybe experiencing the cooling, refreshing quality of the breath. And then bring your awareness to the right nostril, observing the breath flowing through the right nostril. Maybe a bit of warming, more energizing energy arises here. Before breathing again through both nostrils. Elimination of the quality of energies from both nostrils. Inviting again balance and harmony to yourself and the body. Bringing awareness to the throat and the thyroid. The two lobes of the thyroid almost look like the wings of the eagle mudra, the mudra we practice throughout the class, symbolizing balance. Allowing your mind to rest just on the left wing of the thyroid as a symbol of restoration and recovery. Inviting healing. Bringing awareness now to the right wing of the thyroid. Inviting abundant vitality and energy. Before bringing awareness to both wings of the thyroid again, returning to the idea of balance. Balance that might have spread throughout your whole being. I'm inviting you just to have enough breath moving through the body and enough movement to be able to come into a seated shape. Please support yourself so that the seat can be upright and tall. So I've moved back onto my block, but you could sit on anything that suits. I will invite you once again into Garuda Mudra. So the right palm faces the chest, left hand crosses over. We're hooking the thumbs up, spreading the fingers, and we're keeping the hands themselves active, but arms and shoulders relaxed. Eyes can be closed again or a steady gaze front. Invite you into a few rounds again of chanting Om Agnaye Namaha. We'll do again 3 rounds. We'll start with in and out breath, then we inhale, then we start on the mantra. First breath. Inhaling again. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. You hold the idea of energy of fire. Let's brush the palms of the hands against each other. And then throw that all out. bringing your hands gently to touch in front of the chest. Maybe a light bow of the head. Bringing awareness into the fire that we have created, the fire that we have used to burn off, to throw out, to transform. The energy of fire we're extending to each other. Namaste.